In this exercise, I'm going to show you a few techniques for managing your swatches. I've gone ahead and saved my progress as one new swatch.ai found inside the 07 Fill Stroke folder. And I'm going to press Control-Shift-Tab or Command-Shift-Tilde on the Mac to switch back to the first wide window into this document. Now notice that the swatches panel contains a ton of colors that I am not using inside of my illustration. I have no desire to integrate vivid reds or oranges or violets or any of those colors. I want to stick to this fairly muted color theme that includes some earth colors, a few blues, and these golds as well. So what I want to do is delete all the colors that I'm not using from the swatches panel and then add all the colors that I am using into the panel. So I'll start by making sure the swatches panel is visible on screen. Then I'll click on the flyout menu icon and I'll choose this command right there, select all unused. And that's going to go ahead and select all of the swatches that are not used inside of the illustration. Now, that's going to include this group of global swatches that I am indeed using. But here's the deal. None of these global swatches are currently assigned to any objects inside of my artwork. So even though they may use the same color and they are actually based on colors inside of my artwork, they are not assigned to the artwork. So when you create a new swatch, unless an object is selected, then there is no link between that global swatch and the object. Anyway, so you have to kind of remember what you're doing as you're working through your artwork. I'm going to go ahead and deselect all of the global swatches by pressing the Control key here on the PC or the Command key on the Mac and clicking on each one of them. So I'm Control clicking on each one of these swatches. That would be a Command click on the Mac in order to deselect them. All right, that's good enough for now. Notice that white and black remain available to me, as well as a couple of aberrant hangers-on. But anyway, let's go ahead and delete these colors, the ones we don't need. And you can do that by clicking on the trash can, at which point Illustrator will say, hey, do you want to delete these swatches? The answer, of course, is if I didn't want to do that, why would I click on something that's obviously a trash can? Of course I want to delete them. But I'm going to click no, because I'll show you how to avoid that alert message. You press and hold the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac and click on the trash can. That's one thing that you can do. The other option, I'll go ahead and undo that modification, which means I need to reselect my colors. So I'll go back to the flyout menu icon. I'll choose Select All Unused, and then I'll Control click on those colors that I want to keep. That would be a Command click on the Mac, and I will drag any one of the selected colors to the trash can. That works as well. Now notice that there are a few colors left over that I'm not using. This green right there, even though it seems like a good green to use, it's not the same as the green in the center of the calendar, just a little bit different. So I don't want it. I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the trash. And I'm going to grab both of these folders, each of which contain one color apiece, including an orange that appears nowhere inside of this illustration. So I'll click on one of the folders, shift click on the other, and we'll discuss color groups at length in a later chapter. But for now, just go ahead and select them both and Alt click or Option click on the trash can icon to get rid of them. All right, so we're left with my global colors, which start right here with darkness and end with grayish green. And then we've also got white and black. Now then, let's go ahead and add swatches for all of the colors inside the illustration. Now, if I were to make a selection, just drag around a handful of paths like so, and then go up to the flyout menu icon here in the swatches panel, then notice I'd have a command right there, Add Selected Colors, which would add the colors that are assigned to both the fills and the strokes of all the selected objects, so long as they don't already exist. So, for example, I've got a lot of black fills and strokes. I'm not going to create new black swatches because there's already a black swatch inside the panel. So Illustrator is very careful not to duplicate swatches where it can. However, notice that this command changes. Right now it's called Add Selected Colors. I'll go ahead and escape out there. If I click outside the artwork to deselect it, then go back to the Swatches panel flyout menu, and notice the command has changed to Add Used Colors. So all of the colors that are used throughout the illustration, go ahead and choose that command, and they appear now inside the Swatches panel. And if you now go to the File menu and choose the Save command, you save those swatches along with your illustration. So in other words, swatches are illustration dependent, which is a really great thing. All right, that's how you go about deleting and adding a bunch of swatches at a time. In the next exercise, I'll show you how to assign the colors from the Swatches panel to the paths inside of your artwork.